Hello folks, this is Naeem Aslam, Chief Market Analyst at AvaTrade. Welcome to our daily fundamental video analysis. Let's begin by looking at the equity market reaction. We had another up day for the US indices. As shown in the chart, the Dow Jones Index is still very much on an upward trend. It is maintaining that momentum, and as long as the momentum remains in place, it is highly likely that the price will continue its journey to the upside. Especially that 200-week moving average on a weekly chart is very important, something that investors should certainly keep an eye on. When we compare the three major indices, Nasdaq, S&P and the Dow, as we've mentioned before in our previous videos, that it is the Nasdaq index, and I've done an extensive technical analysis video on the Nasdaq, and I will certainly recommend you to watch that. But so going back to it, it is your Nasdaq index which is the strongest index among the other two, because it has moved above the 50-week moving average. Now going back to the fundamentals, yesterday the UK and of course in New York and Belgium, we had one of the most deadliest days with respect to the deaths caused because of coronavirus. But for some reason, investors are kind of shrugging this thing off, because this was pretty much expected. The numbers are still expected to continue to rise over in the UK and of course in New York with respect to the death rate and the new cases because of coronavirus. So I think investors are trying to filter that noise out of the equation, and then they are paying more attention to the realities. And that reality is that how policymakers are drawing up their plans and learning from other European governments such as Austria and Denmark, where the lockdown has pretty much eased off quite enormously. So investors are pretty much paying attention that, okay, the worst is over for the US, for Europe. Now within a week or two, we will see that uptick number, the peak level reaching over in the UK and over in the US as well, as long as the situation remains under control. So they are pretty much focused on the forward curve now, and that is the reason that we're seeing this upward momentum over in the European markets today. Now with respect to economic number today, we have the US weekly jobless claims data. It is anticipated that the number is going to be well above that 5 million. And remember, the equivalent of that over in the UK has also surged enormously. Just how high? That number has gone all the way to 900,000 for those claims. Now, if you compare that on a normal or on its average basis, this number was in around 100,000 on a 2 weeks average. But now we are getting the number to 900,000. So this has raised those concerns that the current unemployment rate over in the UK, which says that 3%, is going to jump all the way on a quarterly basis. It's going to jump all the way to 6%, and this would be the highest quarterly jump on record, because so far the biggest quarterly jump in the unemployment rate that we have seen for the UK economy stands at 1%. So this particular jump is going to be unprecedented, and this leaves many scratching their head whether the recovery in the UK for the UK economy is going to be V-shaped, U-shaped or L-shaped. For me, I think once this pandemic situation is over, I think there is enough stimulus, enough of monetary policy support, so that should really help us to achieve at least U-shaped recovery, if not V-shaped recovery over in the UK. But for the US, it is all about, as I said, the weekly jobless claim, which is supposed to be, the forecast is for 5 million. Now, if we get that number a lot more higher, only then we can see a massive reaction in the market. Otherwise, I think traders are very much positioned themselves to give a free pass to this number, meaning they are not going to react to this negative headline as it is already expected. So does that mean that is it already priced into it, or perhaps maybe we are just completely being ignorant? That is a question which needs an answer, and of course time will only tell. But for now, I think the market is on the positive footing, and then this is why we are seeing the US futures also taking to the upside. To finish off quickly in the commodity space, the OPEC Plus cartel is going to hold this meeting at 1600 UK time, so keep an eye out on that and then see how that oil production is going to play. Of course, there's going to be enormous amount of volatility when they will take the stage and when they will announce if and how big that production cut will be. That's all for today. Keep safe, keep protecting yourself, and as always, remember to protect your positions by using AvaTrade. That's all for today. See you guys tomorrow.